Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Denali and I'm a full-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. My store and closet name is DUCHO, ELDUCHO, and you can find me on Instagram as DUCHO Thrift. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you'd like to be, hit the button down below, and if you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up on the way out today. Alright, so today I am here with a list of 5 items that I regret purchasing when I first started reselling. So when you first start reselling, you're going to hear a lot of different recommendations on items that you should purchase. If you're involved in the reselling community in any form, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, there's a lot of chatter about buy this, don't buy that, da da da. Actually, I feel like there's not a lot of don't buy that, but maybe I just wasn't tuned into it at the time that I was making purchases. I heard a lot of buy this when I first started, or I use this. And so for me, I was like, oh, these people use this, this is what I'm going to use. But what I've realized now that I'm, 2.5 years into my business, not everybody's choices make sense for me. And so that's why I wanted to make this video to share with everyone, 5 items that I feel like didn't work for me. And so hopefully, if you're looking to buy any of these 5 items, it just makes you do some further research. Of course, am not like the end-all be-all opinion on these. You should do your own research. And if you own one of these 5 items and you really like them, this is not a dig at you or your business model. They just didn't work for me. And so, yeah, what works for me might not work for you, vice versa. All right, so let's get into the 5 items. So the first one, I hate to say it, I'm probably never going to get sponsored from them now, but it's a Dimeo label printer. Yeah, a lot of people own one. I owned one for like a year or so as well. Unfortunately, my Dimeo, like I've heard from a lot of people, stopped working after a period of time, and that was a bummer. So basically what was happening is it just wouldn't print. And I was having to open it up, take apart the whole thing, take out, the label that had fed through, use my air blower gun on it to get any dust out of there. Basically what was happening is any little white particle or something that might come off of the label, see those labels there, as they were feeding through, was causing the sensors in the machine to trip up. That's what I've deduced was the problem from it. And so I was just having to put in so much work every time I wanted to print a label that it wasn't working for me anymore. So I decided to get a Rollo. This is not sponsored by them. They don't know that I'm talking about them. And they are not the only thermal label printer company, especially of printers that look like that, that you can purchase. There's lots out there. I just purchased them because this time I did a little bit more homework and saw that that was a brand that I wanted to go with. These printers are really expensive, so it is a big decision, and so maybe I shouldn't have made it, it so quickly the first time around and done a little more research. One issue with Dimeo is that they say that if you don't use their labels, it voids the warranty on the product. The Dimeo labels are, as you can imagine, more expensive, and as you can imagine, they look exactly like the off-brand labels. And so of course I was using off-brand labels in them, and if we want to say that that is why my Dimeo stopped working, sure, we can go with that. But I am really loving my Rollo now. I recently ordered it. The feeding mechanism is a lot better. I feel like in the end it was a better purchase for me. However, I think you should do your research, see all the thermal label printers out there. If you type in thermal label printer on Amazon, you will find tons of different options. Rollo and Dimeo are not the only 2 options. They're just the ones that most people know about. All right, so the second item that I regret purchasing was a backdrop. Not that backdrop. I like it. That's a tapestry. So when I first started reselling, at that time, a lot of people were using this faux wood panel backdrop, and I thought, well, that's what I need to use. I look back at those photos now and I cringe because I'm just like, ugh, it looks so cheesy. But if you use it, mine looked bad. Mine looked bad. Yours looks great, I'm sure. But yeah, I didn't like it. And so but I used it because that's what I thought we were supposed to use. That's what I thought everyone was using. And so I didn't want to attach to my wall, so I purchased like the metal stand to hang it up. You know, I went above and beyond, and I spent money on things that I just shouldn't have spent them on. And I now no longer use that. It took up a ton of space in an area of my home, and it basically, you know, blocked off this area of my home that I wasn't getting to use anymore, because you're not going to set up and break down a backdrop every time that you want to use it. It just always stays up. So, and also Google has said that using a white background is good for search engine optimization. So now I prefer to use a white background. I have this large softbox lighting source here, so that is what I use. All right, the third item is a dress form or a mannequin. I never had a mannequin. I had a dress form. So I actually purchased 2 different dress forms, like on separate occasions, and then kept deciding that, you know, no, this doesn't work for me. Especially once I got this soft box, the way that it fits in there, it just wouldn't work for taking photographs. It didn't make sense. But again, it takes up space. It's expensive. I feel like I was achieving the same or better sales putting stuff on a hanger. And then I also have like a hanging body form. It's just like, you know, a half woman's body on a hanger. It cost me like $10. That was the better investment, as opposed to spending the $60 to $70 on a dress form, which is unfortunately what they cost. The fourth item was umbrella lights. So I went with those initially because they were the cheapest and I needed a lighting option, but I'm not sure that they were actually the best. Again, not to drill down on this too much, but it took up a lot of space. So that's one reason that I regret purchasing them. Another is that they just weren't necessarily the best option. There's lots of options out there. They have like the box. It's not an umbrella light. It's like a box light. You know, they have, I wrote down a few here. I mean, you can use natural light. I mean, there's so many different options that you can use. I just regret doing that. Even when I say that they were cheaper, that still cost me about like $50 to $60 plus the light bulbs. The light bulbs that come with it, I needed stronger ones. So then stronger ones cost like another $20 or $30. If you break them, which I did one time, they cost more money. So there's just like all these extra costs that come with it. Now, again, I have this large softbox, which I really like. If you're curious about that, I do have a video about how I take photos. This is just one option. It's not the only option. And then the last item would be cutesy office supplies. Now, this one is kind of all-encompassing, and my tapestry doesn't fall into it, okay? But just, and I've spoke about this before, I guess, you know, like poly mailer bags that have all sorts of like frou-frou designs on them, which I'll still buy from time to time if I get them really cheap. But in the past, I spent a lot of money on them, which, you know, didn't necessarily make sense for my business. Thank you cards or putting extra little gifts or items in a package. I don't see a return on investment there for myself. And I know that there might be people who watch this who do that sort of thing, who will say, well, I enjoy doing that. That's awesome. If you enjoy doing that and that brings joy to your life, then I think you should keep on doing that. It didn't bring me joy. So that's one reason why I definitely shouldn't have done it. But also there's no return on investment. I wasn't even feeling like I was seeing, you know, on Poshmark, people can leave you a love note. I don't feel like I ever saw a love note saying, thank you so much for, you know, the card that you put in there, or the cute poly mailer bag, or even if I had put like a little gift in there, nobody ever acknowledged it. So I just felt like, I don't know that it really increased the buyer's experience positively. And then other little cutesy things in my business as well. You know, when you first start working for yourself, you know, you want to have like a cute little notepad or a cute little pen or different things like that. But those, you know, there's no return on investment on those. And so later I realized, hey, you know, just using a yellow notepad and a plain old clipboard and, you know, excuse me, a pen that you got at a hotel for free, those are sometimes the best items that you could use. And, you know, you don't have to spend extra money on them. So Yeah, that's my list of 5 things, guys. I hope that provided some information to you, food for thought for you to think about when you're making purchases for your business, to really think things over. Don't take one person's opinion, certainly not my one opinion, and make a judgment based around that. I hope you look at, multiple different sources for what are going to be, good items for you to bring into your business. Because, you're going to have them for a while, especially if they cost a lot of money. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.